Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome once again. So, we're officially back to Love&Marriage Huntsville, and today, I did a video earlier on, and I said we'll be back with a panel review. Unfortunately, we will not be getting Shop Reality TV, but she'll be back next week, hopefully. So, for my girls is here.
Hi
Woo.
guys.
So let's go ahead and talk about episode 1, season premiere, Love and Marriage, Huntsville. How did you feel about the episode?
Ooh, if I could say that Carlos has done it again, Carlos has done it again. Ooh, honey, it is a lot going on this season. I mean, the surprise guest coming back, and you know, it was a lot going on. It was like I had the popcorn and I was sitting there and I was like, oh no, wait a minute, rewind. Let me hear that again. I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, how did you like it?
I, 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 I did like it. I did like it. It was like I was at the edge of my seat. I was like, whoa, there are some things I was hearing. I was like, ooh, wow, I didn't expect this, but all in all, I'm gonna give kudos where kudos is needed. That was a very great job from everybody on the cast,
Mm-hmm.
the producers, every single person. They did an absolutely great job in making the season what it is. I just hope, my hope right now is that it continues like this and we don't get a, a breakage. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. Like, we
Yeah,
don't get like a catfish. Then at the middle of the season, you're not like, what the hell is going on with this season? That's just what I
right,
don't want.
right. I understand you. I understand you.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead to talk about this episode. We'll go ahead and talk about the episode, guys. If you're not subscribed, make sure you click on the subscribe button. If you're just new here, make sure you click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe to channel, and also like on this video. The more you like, the more you should recommend this video, and also comment your thoughts and opinion about what we're gonna say on this particular video. So now, firstly, we started the episode with them talking about I don't know whether it was me or maybe I was deaf during the trailer the first time, but when they played it at the beginning of the episode, when they were talking about when the arrest part, when they first started with, oh, Mattel has been arrested, he's in jail, sort of thing, and they said, and I saw a lot of people were giving their opinion about the arrest, and they went to Stormy and her husband. Tommy's husband said Melody was vindictive. Did you hear that? Because I never heard that in the trailer. So I was surprised when I heard that from him, that Melody was vindictive. Why would she arrest her husband over a text? And I was like,
I
why
didn't
would you
hear that
think?
part. I
Yeah,
didn't hear that
sure.
part, but I will go back and listen.
Yeah, you need to go back. At the
Wow.
beginning, Stormy's husband did say Melody can be vindictive.
Wow. Oh yeah, now that's I I don't know how I feel really about Martell and his situation. Like I said before, Martell is troubled. He is
Yeah.
mentally. He is depleted. He looked like he's losing weight. You know, um, I watched the rewind of the last
Season's
reunion.
episode.
Yeah, no, the last reunion. And
Yeah.
when Carlos walked into the Martell's dressing room, which looks like the boiler room, when he walked in there, he asked him, he said, "Look like you're getting small." He said, "Are you eating? Is anybody cooking any good meals for you?" He said, "No, nobody wants to cook these days." You know, and then so he said, "Why don't you come over and cook?" And they started laughing. So it just looks like he's losing muscle mass. He's losing. He's looking tiny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's not eating. He's stressing. He's going through it. He is. Something has got to give. You know, or else he's gonna completely destroy himself. I see
Yeah.
it coming. I see it coming. It's like a big old tornado coming. And he just can't see it.
Mm.
So it's sad to see. You know, he doesn't know how to bounce back from everything that he's done, and then he still has that little mean streak in him where he's like, Melody is doing better, and Melody is this, and Melody has this going on, and she wouldn't got there if it wasn't for me. And he still has that I built you type of thing. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
may be true. It may be true. Maybe he did build her, but you built her, then you destroyed her, and
Yeah.
she built herself back up. Give her credit,
Mm-hmm.
because how would he have felt if the shoe was on the other foot? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't want to get off the subject like that, but I just wanted to put that
No,
little
no, no.
bit in there.
Everybody's free to say what they want to say today. Now, let's go ahead and talk about it because we started with the episode with Mattel and Melody. I love how they did the transition between um how they did the transition between Mattel and Melody when they were telling their own storyline. And it's not storyline, when they're telling their reality of what was happening and everybody's doing their own version
Right.
of how things were.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to see Melody, and her brother came in and was like, I saw the arrest and I wanted to make sure you were okay. And I'm like, for each of going to extent that when he saw the arrest, the first thing he thinks about is Melody okay? It gets you to question what 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 is the extent of things? How bad has it been between them that the first thought in his head was to rush down to his sister to find out that all is well. No, to come
Mm-hmm.
and find out that she's okay. And then with Mattel and his mom, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I will say I am utterly disappointed in
Okay.
that conversation. I watched that conversation and I said, yes, this is why Mattel is who he is. This is why Mattel is like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when somebody has a certain character or a certain behavior, we tend to blame that person, but we
Right.
forget the person came from a house, from a home,
Right.
from a family,
True.
and we don't know how they do things over there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how they do things over there. And the fact that I sat down and watched, do you know that all through the episode yesterday, I really didn't blame Mattel? I just sat there and looked at his mom. I said, that is the problem. Because the way she sat down there and she was trying to justify and also failing in that miserably, um, trying to justify what your son has done and still trying to make it look as if, no, it's it's nothing. You're a good man. You're a man, you know,
Yeah, and how many
trying to.
times are you gonna? Yeah, because she said something about how many times are you gonna let people keep doing this to you?
Yeah,
And I was looking at her like, girl, stop. You know, don't be telling him that. You giving him more fire, more fuel. You know. So I agree. I didn't really. I thought that was the wrong thing to say to him. And it kind of made me look at her like I don't know if she's pleasing him because how he was like all over her. Well, you didn't say what I wanted you to say, or something to that nature. You did the wrong thing, or you remember? Do you remember that?
yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
yeah. So I don't know if she was saying that to please and calm his nature down by agreeing with him, because she don't want no smoke from Martell, or you know, I just felt that it was the wrong thing to say to him. She should have been saying something more like, you know what, go get you some business. You know what I'm saying? Leave Melody and the kids alone. They got to act through court, talk through that. That way it goes through the court. They can see what you're talking about. And if it has nothing to pertain to the kids, then you shouldn't be talking about it. Now that would have been some sound advice. I would have gave my son, go get you some business and leave hers alone. What happened happened. Move on. You got kids to raise. 5 of them. 5 reasons to get you some business.
Exactly. The thing was, and there was so the way she said, why I said she was trying to, save Martell, but also failing miserable was when they were talking about the text messages, and he was like, how do you arrest somebody over just one text message, and the mom said, yeah, he was saying one text message and she was saying over text messages. And I'm like, okay, which one she would believe? Martell is saying over one text message. She is saying over text messages. So who is lying and who is being truthful? And please, how do they keep on asking myself? I don't really know about the justice system over there in the States. I've not had any encounter with any, case or issues with justice system over in the States. But I understand that I believe that there's this a little bit of closeness with every justice system in the whole world. And I believe
Mhm.
that if there's no reasonable cause for an arrest to be issued, they would not issue it.
Right.
So so for every time he says, it's just over one text message, I would say and repeat, how did the police see that one text message and be like, okay, yes, you deserve to be arrested? And let's say, okay, yes, it was over one text message. Do you know that there are some text messages that carry volume? What the question you should ask is, if you have been arrested over one text message, what was the content of that text message? What was involved in that text message? What were you saying over that text message? A text message can involve bullying, can involve threatening. It can involve a lot. We've seen where one text messages. I've watched a lot of idea stress, a lot of all these shows that talk about how people get, murdered off. We've seen how just one text message can lead to a very big thing. So him keep on repeating is just over one text message, thinking that he repeating over one is just over one text message makes it look less criminal is disturbing to me.
Right. It had to been more than one text message. Maybe it was an accumulation of text messages, and the majority of them probably was something to make you think of bodily harm, or it was threatening her in some type of way. You know, um, because you can threaten somebody, and that's basically like a criminal charge out here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it had to been I'm pretty sure it just wasn't one text. It probably was an accumulation of texts where he was talking crazy to her, you know, and probably even said, "Don't make me hurt you," or something to that nature. I'm just paraphiling, para. I can't even get the word out my mouth, but I'm just thinking, you know. Um, so maybe it was something that was threatening uh, her physical self.
Yeah.
Don't let me catch you at the grocery store. Something. It had to be. Because believe me, they're not going to use the city and the county's resources to file paperwork, and do all this, and it had to come from the district attorney. The DA probably said, "Hey, I'm gonna pick this up," you know, because now he's like a pillar of this community, and this is how he's acting. He's on television, and he's sending this kind of stuff to his ex-wife. They probably know the whole story about them from what we've all seen, and probably a little bit more because they run that town. You know, but yeah, you know. He, like I said, he needs to get some business because this is starting to become redundant. you know
Yeah. His his mom is saying, who knows what other evidence she submitted and does not want to reveal publicly. One thing I know is she always tries to, protect herself and always still tries to protect her children in whatever she does, no matter what. And that's the ultimate at the end of the day, protecting those kids. I did a video, I think people probably last week or so. I said, at the end of the day, the kids are what matters the most, not Mattel, not Melody. The kids are the most important thing, and that's who we all should be protecting. Even every one of us that is up here coming up and talking about the show, content creators, every one of us, we should know that the kids are more important than anything going on.
True.
No, they are very much important. And the way now that we're talking about the kids and the importance they play in all this is when Melody was talking about she was surprised the way Mattel was arrested because he was so swift. And why did he have to, she was suspecting the way he was arrested, that why did he have to be arrested in front of the kids? And when she explained it, truthfully, did you hear the explanation of Melody of how he was arrested? Do you think that he purposely did that?
That he purposely got arrested in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Nah,
Or it was just like it just
I
caught up
would,
with him that day.
yeah, I would hate to think that he would be that petty, you know, that he would want to have that type of situation happen while he has his kids. He has two of them sitting in the car. He said he dropped one of them off or something. I heard him say, and I would just hate to think that he would orchestrate something like that. So I think that karma caught up.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to be his
Yeah.
weekend, with the kids. And, you know, it
And
happened, you know.
And one thing I also felt that I didn't like was the way Mattel and his mom was using the children as a shield. You are her children's father. Like, when does your children become your shield? Like him saying that, how will she go to that land knowing that I'm her child's father? And the mother is like, you are her child's father, and she went ahead and arrested you. When does having using your children as shield for your own stupidity becomes like, okay, fine, yes, we can do this? Like him saying that she shouldn't have done that, she should have thought about the kids. um she's thinking about the kids because she wants to be in the kids life for long. She wants to live a healthy, peaceful life. And him deciding to say, oh, the children shouldn't have been, the children needs a father. I don't know whether you heard that part. The children needs
Yeah,
a
I
father
did.
in their life and the mother in their life. And the way he was trying to
Hmm.
play the father's importance more than the mother was like, excuse me, I know that a father is important in someone's life, and I know that a mother is important in a father's life. Both of them are very, very much important in their lives. But the truth is, you can't be saying, you can't, because of how important you want to live a life of, oh, okay, father and mother has to be in someone's life, and live an unhappy life, or live a life that you end up regretting, or your life will end up being cut short. What's the
Yeah.
essence of living that life of, oh, I want the mother and the father to be in the children's life? What if the father or the mother is not even a good impact on the children's life? Or because you say you want a branch of mother and father in the person's life?
I don't think Martell really thinks about the crap that he be pulling simply because, for one, you got your son looking at how you treat his mother. One day that's gonna change. Okay, and he's not gonna give a damn about you being a reality TV star. All he's gonna know is, look what you've done to my mother, and look at all the excess bull crap you put her through. I think that his son is going to be a man to be reckoned with once he becomes like, hmm, I say about 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
you know, and Martell's not looking at that. He's looking at, oh, I'm trying to get Mel back because I really messed up. It's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It's beyond that now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she'd be a fool. Seriously, she'd be a fool to get back with him because of the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that she moved on. She did what she was supposed to do. Like, when you're hurt, what are you supposed to do? Like, my God. And then for him, one thing I didn't like what they were saying was, all these podcasters, middle age, bitter women, woo woo woo. No, not at all. Not upset, not angry, you know,
Mm-hmm.
got my stuff together, you know, and I'm giving my opinion on things that I'm seeing, and uh, putting my life experience and
Yeah.
feeling what's going on in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not bitter. I'm not jealous. I'm not angry. You know, I'm a commentator and I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to give my opinion.
And the fact is, for me, I can really, why I felt it that way, because I can really understand the children's perspective. And I one thing I know is that I know that I love a father and a mother being a child's life, but if the father is a very one that does not make sense, it's not important. I That one I know for sure.
Right.
My
I've been a single mother, in my past, and hey, my heart was broken. Things didn't work out. You know, marriage didn't work out.
Yeah.
I moved on. I rebuilt myself.
Exactly.
You
That's
know,
what people do. People move on.
yeah,
If you stay in one place, you're gonna die there. From depression, from heartache, from a lot of things will happen to you. So it's always good when you see people moving on. Although some people don't like people moving on, they feel like if I leave, some people are just too entitled. They feel like, oh, if I leave you, you're not gonna be anything, useful. You're not gonna make it in this life without me. You're not gonna be able to feed without me. You're not gonna be able to clothe without me. This kind of thing. No, my why me I'm saying this thing. Sometimes when I'm talking out of my own experience, and I'm trying to
right,
judge from my own perspective.
right.
My own dad is not in my life. Yes,
Mhm,
he's alive. He's well. I know where he is. He knows where I am, but he's not in my life. As much as I
mhm,
say I know where he is and knows where I am, he's not in my life.
right.
If something should happen now, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know how I've been surviving for the past how many years. you know
Mhm,
he doesn't know how me and my siblings have been doing for the past how many years. But one thing he thought was that if he walked out of our life, that we were gonna be destitute, like we'll come begging. Maybe we would have been on the streets, whether begging or being prostitutes as females and anything. And he was so shocked that all those things he was envisioning, all those things he was thinking, that he did not see that come true to life.
right.
He always went outside, and that's why I always feel bad, because he goes outside and he presents this, I'm a good father. People will be like, oh, he's a good man, he's a good father, he's not, he'll be like, he's a kind father, he's a nice father, those kind of things. And I'd be like, you don't know what is going on because you're not on my shoes.
Yeah.
Me in the shoes, me in the house knows that he's
Mhm,
not a good person. He's not a kind person. He just present that front. And that's why I just see Mattel. You present this front of, I'm a good person. They're just trying to be wicked to me. They're just trying to be bad to me. The same thing my own dad was doing, trying to present this front that I'm a bad person because I'm the first child and the first daughter of the house.
mhm,
Like, I'm the bad person. I was turning the other children against him. Saying that sort of thing. I'm a bad child. Going all around telling everybody in our family that I'm a bad child. What he never knew was that I was going to end up being a stubborn person at the same time.
mhm,
And the stubbornness did help me because I never concerned myself by the storyline he was going to tell everybody. All I was concerned was how I was going to get myself from the predicament that at one time we could barely afford to eat,
mhm.
to a situation where I can now afford to, even if it's not a 3 square meal, at least I can afford to eat a 2 square meal. That is where I was thinking to get myself away. So I was not concerned about all the storylines, all the things he was
Right.
trying to form outside, all the way he was trying to make himself look like a good father. I don't care. Make
Mhm,
yourself look like a good father. I don't care. Make
right.
yourself look nice. You know, at the end of the day, I know what I'm going through. I know what I went through. It's still
Right.
my story. You're not gonna change that fact. The only thing is that when he's inside, he knows that yes, you can go outside and do all those things and say all those things, but when you are inside with me, you cannot do those things because you know me, and between me and you, you're lying.
Mm,
You are a liar, and you cannot come to present that front to me. So now you're saying that we are not in the stage. I don't call him for money. We don't, in short, we don't, and he has never heard from anybody where they say, oh, your daughter called me, your son called me, your daughters called me, and they needed money for something, they needed to pay their school fee. And he has never heard of that. He has never heard of, oh, your children took loan, all those kind of things. He has never heard of those things from anybody. So he's always shocked, like, wow, I never expected that when I walked out from this life, that I expected that they were gonna come crawling. That's why he always said, you're gonna come crawling one day and beg me.
oh wow.
And That was the thinking. I was gonna come crawling, and the crawling has not still happened, and I'm still living my life. I'm still living okay.
Amen, girl.
I'm still living okay. So people are like that. People don't get to know
Mhm.
that some people are like that. They think if they leave you, your life is gonna go worse. And now that they feel like, wow, I thought this person's life was gonna go bad, but now it seems like this person's life is even shinier
Mhm.
than mine. Like, how is that possible? And they come out and be like, oh, you present a good front, and they're still thinking about how your life is going better, and they want to look for a way to frustrate your life. I know those things. Those things. I know how those things can happen because it did happen to me. Where somebody is purposely frustrating your life at the back, behind the scenes, then at the scene pretending to be a good person.
Right.
Then everybody is looking at you when you are ranting, when you're shouting, being like, "Oh, she's just acting out. She's she's a mad person. She's a bad person." You know. Although I realized earlier on in my own case that sometimes silence is the best answer for some people. Just keep
Yeah.
quiet. And I now realize that some of them, when they see my silence, they just like, you know what? I'm gonna fear this girl's silence.
Hmm.
I move in ways that nobody understands. I just realized in my own way that I'm not gonna be telling anybody anything about it. As I am like this, nobody in my family can anticipate. They don't know my next move until they see it. You don't see me coming until I land. That's how I do my things. Because
And
I've
that,
learned I kind of learned to be I grew before my time. I lost my mom when I was still a very little girl, when I was still thinking that life was easy. So I had to mature before time. And all these things I went through. And I'm like, that's why sometimes I sympathize with Melody, because nobody knows what she's going through because of we're not in her shoes.
exactly, you. So I can sympathize with you simply because I left my mom's home when I was 14 and I never moved back. So you can imagine what a 14-year-old goes through out in the streets. And I mean out in the streets, you know. You can imagine what a 14-year-old goes through in order to survive, trying to go to
Yeah.
school, you know, trying not to get raped, trying to eat, uh, trying to get your money together, you know. I I lived through a living hell, and sometimes I look at where I am today, and all I can say is, oh, God's grace, God's grace, God's grace.
Mm-hmm.
People come over here and they go, oh my God, you got a beautiful home. Oh my God, your car is nice. Oh my God, your backyard is beautiful. Oh my God, you look nice. Oh my God. And I just keep saying, God loaned me these
Great.
things. This is
Oh,
a loan from God because through it all, I always had faith, you know,
yeah.
that I wasn't going to be this person, this little girl who felt like she didn't have anybody. I got a big family, you know, but yet I was out there, you know, and oh, God has seen me through, and I am so grateful because makes you want to cry when you think back. But it
Yeah.
also made me tough. It made me very, very tough. I'm I'm a stickler when it comes to being tough, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm educated, but I'm also streetwise. And that's a deadly combination. I've been through the first marriage. I'm in my second marriage, and my second marriage is so much blissful than my first marriage, but I had the strength enough to walk away to say, hey, what you're dishing out, bruh, I'm not hungry. I don't want it. I'm not thirsty, you know. And at that time, I had 3 kids, and this fool told me, ain't nobody gonna ever want you with 3 kids. I said, well, you know what? I don't care if anybody wants me out there. I don't care. I said, but guess what? I don't want you. And I booked. I left with my kids, our clothes. You know what I'm saying? And I started over. Got myself 3 jobs and worked them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, we all got stories to tell. We got hard lives, but it's the men like Martell that makes it harder, you know. And when you back strong women who really kind of deep down inside know who they are, even though they forget, you back them up against a corner, against a wall, they're going to come out fighting, you know, and they're going to do great things because they remember how it was to be hurt
Yeah.
and afraid and hungry, you know, and thinking that it's you against the world, because then it becomes you against the world, you know, and you learn how to rebuild yourself. It doesn't happen overnight, you know,
Yeah.
but you learn how to rebuild yourself, you know. So
Exactly. Exactly.
kudos to you, Yuzo, you know, kudos to Melody. I love women like this. I thrive on strong women who's face adversary and come out stronger on the other side. You know, it's not that I'm a millimeter, what do they call them? Millimeter. You know, it's not,
Yeah.
you know, I'm on the side of truth. I'm on the side of dignity. I'm on the side of respecting a woman, you know? And what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Martell, you are just straight wrong. You're thinking everything, what you do, everything. I don't like it. So I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about it.
And the part that, when they showed the text message,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, where is the other text message? He has been mentioning my Melody was bullying me, Melody was bullying me, and where is the bullying messages that she sent to you? You only show the picture, the message of what you sent to her. Show us because you can't come up and be saying Melody is this, Melody is that. At least Melody backs up her own with evidence. Back up your own with evidence, and maybe people might have sympathy for you for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You get? People might have sympathy for you. You only showed the message you sent to her, then you now said, and then I sent her a little picture. The way he was trying to maximize or just downgrade what he did was funny. Then I sent her a little picture. What is a little picture?
He probably
What
sent
picture was
he
it?
probably sent a snapshot of the video. That's probably what
Exactly.
he
That's
sent
what.
her.
No, but the way I'm trying to say the way he was trying to downgrade it, that it
Oh
was
yeah.
nothing that big.
Yeah,
Like,
except for a little
I just
picture.
sent her a little picture, and I was like, "Oh, really,
Yeah.
really, you sent somebody a picture of her in a vulnerable state. Nobody, but whether female or male out there, nobody likes that when they're in that vulnerable situation where it gets leaked outside. You Nobody likes that. If even if whether it's a female or a male, in that vulnerable situation where you are in that kind of state, in the situation where this thing is going on, and especially for revenge play, nobody likes that being happening to them. And you took a snapshot and you sent to her. You first said it was only a text message, then you doubled down and said, "Oh," I then sent her a screenshot. You send someone a screenshot of that, and I know that I'm a public figure, and I know that you might be unhinged, and I know that if maybe tomorrow you see me shining, you might get so unhinged and decide to release it. I too will be reporting you to the police, so as to curb to cut off your hands for you not to do anything. Because once you know somebody's capability, once you know what the person might do, you can literally stop the person. Who knows? Probably it was all these steps that Melody took that made Mattel not release that stuff.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure because I think he goes on the blogs too and listens to a lot of these conversations. Can't nobody tell me that none of these people on reality TV don't go on the internet and listen to these podcasts about them. I look, if I was a reality TV star, I probably would go on the podcast too to see what they're saying about me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it goes to show that he does because of the things that he said during this episode, you know, and so does the rest of them, you know. So, yeah, he's just dead wrong. He's dead wrong, you know. I don't know how else to say it, but he is just dead wrong for the stuff that he does and the tactics that he uses. You know, it's like old. It's old. It's played out. You have no more moves on the chessboard. So now you just trying to clean your shit up. You know, but it's still
Yeah.
shit. It stinks. It still stinks as shit.
Sings badly, yeah.
Yeah, you know. So I don't know how you can defend that.
But I don't know. I understand you are trying to clear your name, but sometimes clearing your name means taking accountability.
Exactly, and he has never
But
done that.
yeah, take accountability, let everybody see your seriousness, then maybe we might say, okay, fine, let's give this person a chance. But you're not taking accountability and you want everybody to just all of a sudden forget everything you've done. How?
Well, he
Make that
wants
make
everybody,
sense.
yeah, he wants everybody to move on, but you yourself haven't moved on.
Mm-hmm.
You move on so we can move on.
Everybody moves. Yeah, exactly. And he was saying, people make mistakes. The mom was not like, yeah, people make mistakes. I'm like, there is a mistake, and there is a difference between a mistake and there's a difference between a mistake. You okay? Yes, we all make mistakes. I'm not gonna say that I've not made this mistake in my life. I have done a lot of mistakes all through these years since I lost my mom. I've done a lot of mistakes. But there's a
Mhm.
difference between doing that mistake and continuously making mistakes all over again. You're not learning from a mistake. When you make a mistake, the essence of it is to learn from it. Then tomorrow, avoid making those same mistakes. Living a better life, making a better example. But if you keep on continuously making that mistake over and over and over and over and over again, then you're a problem. You have a problem.
Right. But you got to understand with everything that you do in life, if you don't think it through and you make the wrong choice, there's going to be a repercussion. I've said this before on your podcast. There's a repercussion. Either you're going to get the repercussion sooner. If you don't get it sooner, you're damn sure going to get it later. That's why it takes 5 seconds to think. Hey, should I do this? Nah, maybe I shouldn't. Let me just chill. Let me go think about something else. You know what I'm saying? That's how quick you could change a bad decision to doing something else. But Martell never thinks. He just thinks of, hey, how can I hurt Melody? How can I hurt Melody? How can I hurt her? Why? Why do you want to hurt her? She has your kids, stupid. You know, she's raising your daughters. Do you want your daughters to become a victim of the bull crap like you're pulling when they get older? Because they're going to learn and they're going to see their
Yeah.
mother sad and crying and think that, oh, that's part of life. You're supposed to have a husband and let him just run all over you and you try and build yourself up, but then you're still crying because he's still doing stuff. You're like, does he want his kids to go through that?
Mm.
That old saying, you reap what you sow. It's the truth.
Miss Mammy said, yep, consequences don't disappear just because you're sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the truth. when you make mistakes, even if you're sorry, doesn't mean that the consequences don't stay. It's now up left to you to deal with the consequences. But at least people will know that you are trying to make amends
Mm-hmm.
for what you did. You are trying to make amends for what you did. Now we moved over to Miss Nell Fletcher. What's her Miss Nell Fletcher and Stormy. Stormy went over to Nell Fletcher, and I'll say Stormy is looking absolutely gorgeous this season.
She is.
Um, she's looking absolutely gorgeous. So Stormy went to see the Miss Nell Fletcher, and they were talking about everything that has been happening. They talked about the Sonny and Moses and Destiny. They talked about Melody and Mattel.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say about Miss Nell Fletcher's response to Mattel being arrested and trying to use the race stuff?
You know, I look at it like this. You know, he's trying to still control Melody. She is divorced. She has gotten her name back. She's moving on. She's raising kids. Like, let it go. And for Nell to sit back and, oh, well, I don't like that he went to jail. Well, maybe that gave his ass time to think. You know what I'm saying? Because at 40 something years old, you know, you shouldn't be going to jail, especially over text messages, incriminating text messages. You know, it's like eat some meals, work out, and like mind your business. That's what he needs to be doing because, and then Miss Nell, I understand that, they're like brothers and sisters. If that would have been my little play brother, I would have asked him, man, what are you doing? You know, why are you embarrassing yourself? You can't let this lady go. You know, I wouldn't be saying, hey, well, maybe he shouldn't be going to jail. Or, yeah, I think he should have been, especially if it's something as serious as what he's going through with Melanie, you know? So, yeah, I didn't like the way she responded. I didn't.
For me, I understand where she was coming from, but eh, the part that she was like, I don't love the when we see a black man going to jail. Excuse me. Just like we don't like when white men escape justice, so
Exactly.
let's not allow just because we're under we try to play the race card to escape the same justice. If it was a white man doing this, a lot of us would have been, yeah, put him in jail, lock him up, throw the key away. He's a bad person. But because he's a black guy and we're black people, and you're like, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't stop him if he wants to become a bad person tomorrow. He's not going to be a bad person just because he's black or the color of his skin. No matter the color of your skin, when you're bad, you're bad.
Yeah, I mean, if there was no consequences to any type of crime, wouldn't it be more crime?
Exactly. So her talking about trying to play the race card, that literally off to me. I know where she was trying to come from, probably because she's friends with Mattel, but trying to play the race card? No. It's a no for me. Saying, oh, for a black man, like if we're supposed to be having leniency for black men, her own son wouldn't have been taken to jail.
But
It,
it's embarrassing me because he is a black man and he's acting like that. That's the embarrassment for
that should be
me.
the question. You're a black man. It's not about is a black man, he shouldn't be in jail. The question should be, it's a black man and he's embarrassing like that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in that, it's like I see my siblings maybe doing something embarrassing, I might not want to associate being like, oh wow, yeah, let me just remove myself from this equation. Nobody wants to be associated to nastiness. Nobody wants to be associated with something bad. Everybody wants to be associated with something good. So if you're a black guy and you are talking about the black people presenting themselves being good people, make sure you're a good person first before you speak about it. Don't associate the race with somebody that is actively out here doing something that is not right. Because there are other black guys out there fighting to make everybody see that black people can be good. Black people are good. But if you're trying to associate somebody like Mattel that has bad attitude, and we've seen that, to the black community, that's a wrong comparison. And that's the problem.
I
That's a
agree.
very huge problem. We should associate ourselves with good people, not trying to play the black card on somebody that you're like, no. If it was somebody else that played the black card on, I would have accepted, but not Mattel. Not Mattel. He has never for one time done something that I really sat and said, okay, fine. He thinks with he's a critical thinker. He's not. When
I
you see
know
the
that's why
things
I'm
he
laughing.
does, when you see the things he does, you'd be like, how does this guy reason?
Goodness gracious.
He doesn't do like when I saw, I'm telling you, this episode, when I saw him and his mom sitting down, I kind of felt like I a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel bad for Matt. I felt a little bit sad for him because growing up like that, somebody making you believe that you are who you are who you're not. Sorry, you're who you're not, you know, making you believe that you're one Superman when you're not. That was the problem with Mattel. The mom has built him up so much that you know how many times she said, "Be a man, be a man. You are a man." And I was like, "Excuse me, what does it take to be a man? This attitude? That's what it takes to be a man." Okay.
Oh no. I mean, didn't Martell's father and mother, they were together and they split it up? What they raised was a little thug in a suit that likes to pick and bully women because they don't want you no more. Like, that is sad. He's a bully in a suit, you know,
Yeah.
and he's trying to be a thug in a suit,
Yeah.
that's going around. That's like a terror threat, a terrorist threat. When you threaten somebody, whether it be verbally or by text, by letter, by any type of social media, that's a terrorist threat. So maybe that's why the district attorney picked up that case, because I'm pretty sure the district attorney picked up that case. They was like, nah, we're not having this out in Huntsville, Alabama. You know?
Yeah. Now, let's talk about Destiny and Tisha having a chat, and Destiny and Tisha having a chat. We were talking about the Sonny and Joseph. Is his
Moses.
name Joseph? Sorry, Sonny and Moses stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, felt betrayed. I said in one of my videos, one of the videos I did when the trailer came in, I said I'm a little bit disappointed that this is her storyline coming back on the show. And I'm still gonna say it here for those that didn't watch that video, because
Mm-hmm.
she came on the show married to a husband, break.
Right.
On the show, she divorced him after
Mm-hmm.
not long of being married. And on
Right.
this show, it kind of shown that they had a kind of issue, they had issues in their marriage, and that's what caused the breakup. and
Mhm.
she was not open about what really occurred in the marriage and the divorce and everything, and she was dropped on the show. Now she's coming back on the show just because of another man and picking the wrong man again, and you're saying that this man has been your friend for 15 years. How much bad is your radar to have a friend for 15 years and not realize that this friend is not a good friend, or this friend is not a friend that should enter into a relationship? Because there's some friends you have that you know that can, yes, they can be my friends, but we can't be in relationship. I can't be in a relationship with this person. Yes, we can be friends, but you cannot graduate after that. We cannot go into a relationship. Now you've been friends with Moses for 15 years, then you decide to graduate it into um a relationship. Didn't you see the signs as a 15 years, as in your 15 years friendship, that he was not really a type to be trustworthy? Then you entered into a relationship, it didn't turn out well for you, and he went ahead and cheated with you with your own producer, which I feel like it was wrong. I'm not in support of that. I'm not in support of that. But for her to come back on the show just to show how wrong decisions, how she makes wrong decision, is not the thing I want to see. I wanted her to come back on the show to show me how she has moved on from her divorce, how she's now living life, and how she's learning from the mistakes she made from her divorce and everything after that. We know of her Madoni closing down, a lot of things happening in her life, of a lot of things that shut down in her life. I thought she was going to come back on the show and show us how she has, uplifted herself from all those things happening in her life, all those bad omens happening in her life, how she has uplifted herself from those things and is making it better for herself in life. But rather, she came back on the show just to have an argument with an ex that is now married. That for me is not a good storyline. I know it's good for TV. I know it's good for us that we're talking about it. I know it's good for us that want to gist and talk about it. It's good for us. We're going to have fun talking about it. But the truth is that as much as I love talking about it, as much as I love to have something to talk about, we still forget that these people are human beings. And for me,
Mhm.
I would not like that. If I'm the one in situation that people see that my first marriage went sour, then I'm coming back to TV to tell people how my second relationship I made the wrong decision, and I'm coming now. Not that it's a different thing if the guy was still single. He's now married, and now you're coming to fight both his wife and him. Yes, what they did was wrong, but that's not the look I expected Destiny to come with this season. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but we knew that she was going to come back, and she had to have a storyline. I just want to ask, was that the same boyfriend that she had when she left the show that she wouldn't talk about?
Yeah, that's the same boyfriend.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, you know what? All I can say is Destiny, like, you don't tell nobody about your personal life between you and your boyfriend or how y'all moving or what you doing. You don't invite your girlfriend along with you to go see your boo thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's mistake number one. You know, mistake number two is, what are y'all gonna be, sister wives? you know, like, why are you giving her? I mean, I understand she's the producer, but if you're not bringing that part of it on the show, then why is she privy to it? You must have said something like you didn't really want that nigga or something, because homegirl was like, "Oh, I'll take him," you know. And but then you're gonna get mad, So
Mm.
yeah, and I don't understand Destiny's return. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah,
But
it's that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be an interesting storyline to see play out. But
mhm,
um, the thing is that for me, I feel like it's kind of embarrassing because there are moments she's gonna get insulted. You know,
mhm,
I- because as much as it's a very unfortunate situation, he ended up marrying the lady.
right.
It's a very unfortunate situation, but now they are married. They're husband and wife.
Hmm.
Hmm. They're husband and wife. And when they were also talking about, they also talked about the melody show with Carlos King and the way that Letitia and Destiny talked about the mellometers. I literally was on Twitter tweeting about the show when it was airing, and I said, "Not the mellometers taking shades this season. Like really, like." Calling Destiny went as far as saying that they are, Letitia said they were bitter, jealous women. Then Destiny said, no, not even middle age. They're old women that don't have their life set out for them. Because how would somebody that has their life set out for them literally take up their phone and type that? And I'm like, I've said this and I'll say it again. I did say this in a video I did, and I said there is always going to be fan base. Right, we've
Mhm,
seen it on other shows we do, other shows we watch. We've done rehearsal of Atlanta here, rehearsal of Potomac here, and we know that there are those shows, those ladies on those shows, they have fan base. Now there's always one person that has the bigger fan base than every other person,
right.
and whenever that person is always in an issue with other people, those fan base comes to fight for that person, and the person always wins, no matter where it is. Now, the thing is that everybody goes into this show trying to make a fan base for themselves. Unfortunately, one person always comes out the victorious person by having the biggest fan base.
Right.
Now, everybody, it happens even in the movie industry, even in the music industry, right?
Mhm.
It happens. But I'm like, this castmate of Love&Marriage Huntsville, when you came into the show and you've watched other reality TV shows and you came into the show as a reality TV star, did you know that you would have to build your own fan base?
Wow, no.
Unfortunately, it happened that Melody is a person that has the biggest fan base on the show.
I
Let
see
it go.
why. I see why.
Let it go. And the thing is that I feel like it's a little bit of jealousy because we also have people that love the Scots always fighting for them no matter what, always calling out Melody no matter what. We see them on Twitter, on Facebook, they are always there. We've seen people that love Destiny call out Melody also. So the only thing that I feel like their problem is that no matter how the people that love Destiny, no matter how the people that love the Scots call out Melody, their voice is not as loud as the mellometers. The mellometer
Mhm.
still comes out the highest voice. And I'm
Right. They
beginning to think,
support.
are you sure that they really dislike Melody, or the fact that Melody has the biggest fan base and her fan base are literally, the fan base has a very good buying power. They, whenever she puts out products, they are there buying it from her. Whenever she wants to do something, they're there supporting her. They are always there, fighting battles for her. And who wouldn't want that? None of us want someone to fight our battles for us. Let's be realistic. I
Right.
would sometimes want someone to help me just fight my battle a little bit. Let me just take a rest.
Mhm.
So I feel like probably they might not really dislike Melody, but they just dislike the fact that she has the biggest fan base, and they always fight for her. What did you have to say about them calling out the mellometers and saying those things about them?
They just want to be Melody. You know, they love how she rebuilt herself, you know, and she has that pizzazz that they just don't have. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game. you know, and they
Mm-hmm.
could do the same, but in their own fashion, their own way. But they haven't tried to figure out how to do it because they're too busy drinking haterade. Don't hate. I can't stand it when women hate on other women. You don't know what they went through to get to where they're at. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what pain and agony and sleepless nights and not wanting to eat because you're so stressed out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that they're talking about, oh, people are jealous, and no, it's them. Because who else are you guys going to talk about if it's not Melody? You have nothing else to talk about. Instead of, hey, she's doing good. Let me ask her a few tips, or hang
Mm-hmm.
around her or take her to lunch, pick her brain a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They're not willing to do stuff like that. Because it doesn't seem like Melody's the type that be like, hey, look, if you got a business idea, I could show you the steps on this and this and this. She doesn't seem like the type of woman later on that would be like, well, I helped you do this and how, you know what I'm saying? She wouldn't do that because it's been done to her by her ex-husband. So you got women on the cast who are totally jealous, you know, because
Yeah.
she has become the face of the show. She is the
Mm-hmm.
star, you know, and she's still going through stuff, but she's still smelling like roses.
Oh, yeah. And the fact is that you're hating on somebody and you came back on the show just to fight with an ex.
Hmm.
How does that speak volumes for you? How does Yes, it's a good storyline. Because I know people will be like, yeah, is that not what's going to make the show interesting? Yes, I'm not disputing that. But like I said earlier on, I would have preferred for her to come and show us a gracious storyline. Like, yes, I have moved on. Yes, I'm now picking up my life. No, that's the storyline I love because when it's like I'm watching somebody go from zero to nothing. It gives me hope that I can also do that in my life. I can go from zero to nothing. All these things, I always say, most of these things we learn from, because you know how many things I have learned from most of the shows I have watched that I've imputed in my daily life and routine,
Hmm.
that has helped me to overcome some situations. Some of them give me joy. Sometimes when you're down and you just watch them and you be like, okay, fine, I'm enjoying this. I'm
Hmm.
literally enjoying this. It's giving me joy. Yes. But I'm gonna give a very big kudos to Stormy for attending that event with everything going on. And a lot of people were hating on her online, but she still went to the event. She still bought tickets and still went to the event. I'm gonna give Tommy a very big kudos for doing that because, see, I know a lot of people might say they don't like Stormy, but I don't hate Stormy. I
Right.
don't hate Stormy. I see her as a very exceptional businesswoman, right?
Hmm.
Yes, sometimes she might be acting funny, but that aside, for her going to that event, her being in that event, she deserves a round of applause. When I did see her there, wow, she deserves a big round of applause for being at
Yeah.
that event.
Yeah, and she was smiling. She looked like she was having a good time. She was
Yeah.
intrigued. She came to support, you know. So, yeah.
I was like, that's somebody that knows what, she knows that, okay, fine. As much as I might not like what they are saying about me online, but doesn't stop me from having fun, doesn't stop me from living my life. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, it's still your life. Nobody's going to dictate what you're going to do. You're still going to have to do what you have to do for yourself. That's just it. And every other person will just have to understand, um, yes, that's it. And she was enjoying herself. But did you think, on that event, kudos to all the millimeters that were there. The place was packed up. Like, man,
Oh yeah.
I'm so proud of Melody. Like, I will say it again, I'm so proud of Melody. The place was packed up. People came, showed out, and was ready to enjoy themselves. Um, um, but did you feel it was shady of Carlos to bring in Sonny and Moses at Melody's event? Because for me, I didn't like that.
Oh, you leave it to Carlos. You know what I'm saying? He is like a shit starter. You know what I'm saying? He is messy boots himself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
whenever he can shake it up, it's like rolling
Yeah,
dice. Whenever you can shake it out and roll a 7 or 11, he's gonna do it. And actually, if I was in that creative cap, if I had that creative cap on and it was my show, I'd probably do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Just to shake it up. This
Mm-hmm.
wasn't exclusively for Melody. This wasn't, oh, Melody is on my podcast and that was it. She was featured on it, but he had some other shit that he wanted to bring out. You know what I'm saying? And introduce
Yeah.
to the
And
show.
he
So
used that hype. And he knew, I think he used a good he wore his producer's hat because he knew that a lot of millimeters were gonna be there. A lot of people that are really, really into the show were gonna show up on that place. So he was like, you know what? Let me just tell you guys, let's just bring in the tea right here
yeah,
and let's talk about it. And
yeah,
you could actually hear from the crowd. Everybody was really, you know,
shock.
wowly, like, woo, wow, that's wow.
Yeah. And to have the both of them there so they can say what they
Yeah.
need to say. Yeah, good, good content and good TV.
And the way she was like, Melody was like, hi, Melody congratulated her. Oh my god. I know that they are going to come for her for that, for congratulating her. Mm, that congratulating Sonny. But what was she supposed to do? She's a married woman. So was she supposed to say, oh, I'm not gonna congratulate you?
Well, she was supposed to congratulate them. They haven't done anything to her.
Exactly. They haven't
And
done it.
how would she have looked if she would have been up there stub nosing them? Like, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Of course she's going. You got to understand. Melody, to me, is a Southern soul. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's hospitable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she doesn't seem like she envies anybody.
Anybody.
You know, and yeah, I would have spoke to him. Hey, congratulations. You know, how are you doing? Because her and Destiny really aren't true friends. Because her and Destiny fell out a while ago, and like Miss Mermaid and Angela, what's her name? Angela. Oh, I can't see. Hudnil, Hanella. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but like I was reading the comments, like they said, you know, I think Destiny probably slept with Martell too. You know what I'm saying? Because she is just, she's too close for
Oh,
comfort. She's too close for comfort. Like, why are you always going over there? Why are you always hanging around him? Like, what is it? I don't get it. You know, if I was a single woman that's been through marriage and I was single and you're my friend and you and your husband, you know, I'm you guys' friend, but I was his friend first, but now I'm your friend too. You know, y'all get divorced. I'm not gonna be going to his house. If we're gonna see each other, we're gonna see each other. We're gonna go get a drink, go get some food, you know, and other people gonna be around because I don't want people to think this is a date. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I don't like the way Destiny moves. You know what I'm saying? Is
yeah.
she around Martell because she know Martell's always in the thick of it? You know, and the
Mm,
cameras might be there. So as much as his name is mentioned, her name would be mentioned. I'm not getting it.
yeah.
You know, but I don't like
And
the way Destiny moves.
mm-hmm. But you know what? One thing I'm happy for is I am intrigued by this season. I want to see how this season is going to play out because in the episode, a lot of people were already, on Twitter, on X, a lot of people were already trying to call out Melody, and I'm like, there was one comment before we go off. Quick before we go off, there was this particular comment that caught me off. One person said, why did Melody arrest Martell for over a text that people arrest the things that people arrest people for is when they are doing stalking and worse things. And I'm like, and in my head I said something. I said it's always starts. You can't go to the letter one without zero. You can't go to so I said letter. You can't go to the letter number one without zero. You can't go to number two without one.
True.
There's always a graduating phase.
Mm-hmm.
That's the circle of life. It starts
True.
from a small, before someone turns into a stalker, it starts from a small, innocent meeting. Then from there, maybe you guys hang out one or two times innocently. Before you know it, starts escalating and escalating till it becomes bad. And that's when we see cases that we watch on TV and be like, oh, wow, this is life. How did this happen? Now, at what stage a lot of people were like she shouldn't have arrested him over the text messages and waited till it escalated. I'm like, at what stage of escalation should she have waited for it to have gotten to before she called for Martel's arrest, before she went to the police?
A terror
Because
attack
for me,
is a terror
because for
attack is a
me,
terror attack.
yes, because like for me, I feel like if you notice it from the beginning, it's better to nip it at the bud before it becomes something very serious. That's my own take. Before something, and that's how I live my life. When I see something turning bad, I always like to repair it before it becomes a very big problem where it
Right.
now takes me lots of solution and a lot of money spending and everything. If I can nip it now that it's just a little thing and will not cost me much, I will do it. Then when it becomes a very or even gets to an irreversible situation. So what's your take on it? A lot of people going out and calling out Mel for arresting Melody and for arresting Martel, saying that it was not worthy enough of the arrest happening.
You know, I don't blame her simply because, you know, like I was saying, my past marriage, you know, this dude would come and knock on the window at 2 and 3 in the morning, scaring me the crap out of me and the kids. There wasn't nobody in there but me and the kids. You know what I'm saying? He all these narcissist tactics. You know, I'm a woman. Melanie's a woman with children. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she's supposed to protect her peace, her sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Till, I mean, I would call the police, right? And they wouldn't do anything because my ex father was an attorney and he knew all the judges, all the police. They wouldn't do anything. So, you know what I started doing? I started arming myself with a metal bat, a loose brick that was in front of the house on the flower bed, and this. This I had this statue, right? It was a, a brass pelican, and you know how
Yeah.
pelicans have the long beaks. So I would open the door and I would have one of something in my hand because I was ready to just beat him because I got so tired of being harassed to take him back. You know, no means no, and I'm not interested means I'm not interested. You keep messing with me, you're going to take this ass whooping with you. You know what I'm saying? And we can both go to jail. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
both gonna die. Something has got to give. You know, so yeah, I don't blame her. You know, like I said, that was a terror threat there, which is punishable by a crime in the United States. You know, maybe he should have read up on it. Maybe he should have Googled it before he did it. You know? So no,
Yeah.
I don't blame her. No, 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 not at all. He needs to get his shit together and quit acting like a little kid that just lost the basketball game. You know, you don't get no victories until you learn how to win.
Mm-hmm. For me, I know that Melody is gonna get dragged very well this season, so I'm here for it.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
here for it. Um, but one thing I know is that we're gonna love this season. Yeah, not like love, but we're gonna love, we're gonna hate, we're gonna cry, we're gonna cuss out. But one thing is I know that this season at least will be better than last season. That's one thing I know. If they continue in this pace they are in, this season is gonna be better than last season. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm here
but
for
you know,
it.
I just wanna let's just send out a little prayer for Martell that he quit acting
Yeah.
like a jerk and you know with all this TV time and you know show other narcissist men that their lives could be turned around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to see him do something great instead of always doing some
Instead of all this,
freak.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's in position where he can and he just keeps doing the dumbest stuff. It's frustrating. You know, and leave Melody
Yeah.
alone. Damn, she don't want you no more. She don't even like you. You know, you broke her heart. Golly. Shit. I hate men like that. Oh God.
I wish him well because I feel like he could change.
Yeah,
He could change. Things
yeah,
can
he
turn
could.
around from him if he just admits on his faults and moves on and really move on. Well, anyway, guys, that's we've been here for like an hour 23 minutes. I really did miss Shop Reality TV. I wish she was here so much because I know she would
She
have
had
her
a
own
lot to
input.
say.
She would have had her own input on the show. Well, just
Mhm.
hopefully, fingers crossed that she's gonna be here next week for us to talk about the episode 2 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you, Miss Mermaid. Thank you, Angela, for being on the comment section. Thank you, Angela, for subscribing to our channel and joining us on our live stream. Make sure you also join us on every other live stream because I said it, it's always a fun moment where we go on our panel chat and have discussion about the episode. And if you're new here, please make sure you click on the subscription button down below. Just give us a follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also make sure you click on the like button to like this video, because the more you like, the more YouTube recommends, and let other people know about this video. And comment your thoughts and opinion on the comment section to let us know what you feel, whether you agree with what we say or whether you don't agree with what we say on this episode. Please make sure you comment on the comment section and let us know what you feel. We'll see you guys same time next week. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Yeah.